New Czech leader urges no limits on aid to Ukraine.
Here's a summary of the article.
Czech President-elect Petr Pavel, a former NATO general, said Thursday there should be no limits on military aid to war-ravaged Ukraine, urging allies to show more courage. In an interview with AFP, the 61-year-old said the West should provide Ukraine with all types of weapons except nuclear arms as it battles Russia's invasion. Western allies have been providing Ukraine with substantial military aid since the full-scale invasion began in February 2022. A day after the election, Pavel spoke on the phone with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to assure him of the Czech Republic's support. The Czech Republic, an EU and NATO member of 10.5 million people, has so far provided Ukraine with military aid worth $217 million, the Defense Ministry told AFP. Pavel also endorsed Ukraine's bid to join the EU and NATO once the war ends. In terms of agreement on values, long-term strategic interests, technological interoperability between NATO and Ukraine's army, Ukraine has already met the conditions. We will have to lead Russia there, not only by continuing our support for Ukraine, but also by being very strict in implementing sanctions against Russia, Pavel said.
This post received a score of 3,700, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The Czechs, Poles, and Lithuanians, not to mention a few others, know what it is like to be under Russia's oppression. They don't want to ever be back there again.
It seems the Hungarians have forgotten. I think the entire history of Hungary can be summarized in one sentence: Hungarians always choose the losing side.
Hungarians haven't forgotten. Russia installed a pro-Russia oligarch there to run that country through proxy and further erode and corrupt its organs so the disease sticks whilst turning the population apolitical. It's how Ukraine was supposed to go as well, becoming a puppet. Well, the limit should be whatever a country can afford. But I think the point is still the same.
That's a wise decision. Ukraine needs a lot of aid ASAP.
Fucking hero. We need more people to stand up for the basic human right to fucking exist without being murdered, raped or kidnapped.
And stop being so damn cautious with sanctions. Plenty of Western corporations are still in Russia after a year.
The United States and other Western Bloc countries should give them 30 days notice. Pull out of Russia, or C-level executives and board members will be imprisoned for no less than 10 years. This right here makes me think it's all a drama show. Citizens are leaving but Western companies are still working there? I work for Airbus and we cut people's remote connections in the first few weeks or so. The things I have seen, haha, it'd scare you.
Bravo. It also needs to fucking hurry up. Slava Ukraini?
Yes, with the Russian offensive coming soon they need tons of everything. Holy hell, the loss of life will be terrible, all because fucking Putin. I hope his cancer hurt.
It's not Putin blasting houses with MLRS, I suppose? Not Putin flying in strategic bombers targeting electric power grids and malls, right? Get this point out of your head. Russian nation wants to destroy Ukrainians. It doesn't matter who rules, Russians always wanted to suppress and eliminate Ukraine.
It's impossible to say just how much support the war has among Russians. Yes, independent polls have shown strong support, but if you were in Russia and knew that the government was imprisoning people who spoke out against the war and some random person claiming to be a pollster asked you about your thoughts on the war, what would you say? Most people in every nation just want to live their lives and not cause any trouble. It's rare to find legitimate majority support among the aggressor nation for any war.
Please just open up the history books I read about all the times Russians wanted to purge us. You would be shocked how many times. I live in central part of Ukraine and a lot of friends who have relatives in Russia don't speak with each other, because they all believe that we are Nazis and support occupation. This war began not in 2022, it has started in 2014 and nobody gave a shit back then. Now we're dealing with the consequences of that stupid decisions.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.